But the reason I'm bringing it now is because when I think of the word success, it is, for me, it's not just money and career, that's important too, but it's really whole life success for everybody involved. And there's ways of measuring that. So I'm going to give you now 10 different life categories, and I would like you to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, like 10 being it's perfect in this area of life, and 1 is it really sucks, that area of your life. And don't overthink it, just kind of go through it very quickly. So here's my list here. So your physical health, on a scale from 1 to 10, quickly, what number would you give it? Your emotional health, scale from 1 to 10, what number would you give it? Mental health, wealth, as in money, your business or your work or your career, fun, happiness, relationships, spirituality, and hobbies. So just take a look at those numbers. So when I was doing this exercise a year ago, I've been doing it at New Year's, there was definitely a couple of areas that were standing out for me. One of them was my work. And that was kind of, I'm doing good in most of them, but there was a couple that were like low. So what I actually did, I invested in experts to help me make those areas of my life better. And that kind of has made me think, because I have quite a lot of people on my mailing list, and I assume they're all there because they seek to make their life better. And a lot of times I don't necessarily think they're investing in an expert's help to get them better in those particular areas of life. And I got to thinking, why is this? What would prevent people from getting the help to make the life better, like the whole life better? So it's like, when your car breaks down, you don't necessarily spend a lot of times thinking about trying to figure out yourself how to fix it. You just take it to the expert, which is a mechanic. So there's no problem when your car breaks down, you take it to an expert to get fixed. Now, if I would learn to speak Chinese, I might do a half-assed effort to do it on my own. But if I really wanted to learn Chinese, I would have to go to an expert to get help in learning that, because I don't know. And likewise, if I wanted to become a doctor, I would not try to figure that out on my own. I would go to somebody who could teach me to be a doctor, somebody who is an expert and who can teach me how to become that way also. And it's the same thing when it comes with these different areas of our lives, where we can have much more success in these different areas of lives. It's like the way most of us have grown up in some kind of dysfunctional family, more or less. I know a lot of people have had really hard times. It's like we have not learned how to be successful in those areas of life. And to me, it just makes sense. If I haven't learned it, how can I know from inside myself? I need somebody outside of me to help me teach me that and, take me on that journey. And it's like the title of this talk. It's like you don't know what you don't know. But the experts know what you don't know. So trying to change, not even knowing what you don't know, it's like, how far is that going to get you? And it's like, sure, none of us are powerless to make changes or whatever, we can all make changes. But there always comes a point, if you want to get to the next step, you have to get an expert to help you. So anyway, it's what I see, that when it comes to our inner lives and our personal lives, many, many people will not invest in help to getting it better. or will only do it partly, and they really have to be suffering in order to change that. So anyway, I think that's kind of sad, and I wanted to talk about it. And I started thinking about some of the reasons why we are hesitating on actually investing in help and trying to do it ourselves, and then obviously the question is, well, doing it on your own, how well has that worked for you so far? And how long time are you willing to wait until you really, at where you're at? It's like, a friend of mine said, I haven't come this far only to come this far. And if I need to go further, I want, the fastest way of getting further, the quickest way, the most painless way, the laziest way is to get an expert in that particular area of your life to help you get there, make the fastest progress and see your return on your investment fastest. So Brendon Burchard is an inspirational guru, and he came kind of bursting out of nowhere not that many years ago. And, I've been following him, like a lot of his stuff. And I was reading one of his books, and there was one sentence in his books that just totally struck me. He said that when I realize I have a problem or an issue and I don't know something that I need to do in order to become more successful in any particular area of my life, I, 1, read a book about it, and 2, find an expert to help me. And to me, that is absolutely the most commonsensical approach to that. And this is also what I do. And I have been doing it for years and years and years. If there's something I want to change and get better in my life, I read a book about it and I invest in help from an expert. And you know what? I am so glad I did. But again, back to people who don't do this. What are some of the reasons? So I think maybe a big one is the feeling of I don't deserve to invest in myself. And it also comes out as I can't afford it. So I have heard many people say they can't afford in investing in themselves, but they can certainly afford in renovating the kitchen, buying a new car, taking expensive vacations. All kinds of other things they can afford. But when it comes to investing money in themselves and, feeling better about themselves, create confidence, really change the life and work on creating success in the whole lives, well, they can't afford that. And the reason here is not that they can't afford it, because when push comes to shove, most people can't find the money to invest in help. I'm not saying everybody can, there's definitely people who can, but for most people, that's an excuse. It's not the real reason. And I imagine that that's the smoke screen reason I can't afford it. And what is underlying this is I don't deserve to spend money on myself. There is a sense of shame for not being perfect already. And asking for help means that you have to acknowledge out loud into the public to a stranger that you're not perfect. And it can bring a lot of shame for a lot of people. There's also a thing that's called dysfunctional family pride. And it is kind of like a pride that prevents you from asking for help. And, and by not asking for help, you make sure that everything stays the same. You don't rock the boat. And I think there's also maybe sometimes this fear of trusting somebody. If you have to get somebody to help you, you will have to trust that person. And, to address that specific issue, it's like just try out different people. A lot of experts, they offer free discovery calls, free clarity calls, so you can get a chance to check them out if they have blog posts or videos or books or whatever. There's many ways of, getting a taste of who they are before actually investing any money, which I think is very smart. And certainly I research. do my research before I decide who I'm going to ask to help me. So coming back to this whole life success again, you know, and your numbers. Take a look at the numbers. Just take a look at the numbers, and are you happy with what the numbers are? So most of my numbers, they are 10. There is a few that's 7, 8, 9, but nothing is below that. And I am so willing to invest in the ones that are low, because I really wanted to be a 10 all across my life, because I deserve that. And I know you do too, even if you might not believe it yourself, but I do know that you deserve to have 10 all across your life. So take a look at that numbers. Which one are the lowest? Which ones bothers you the most? You know, those might be the ones that where it would be smartest to invest in getting some help, you know, to get the number, you know, get it all up to a 10. So it's just really take a good look at it and ask yourself, what is holding me back from investing? Is it really the money, or is that just a smoke screen reason? What is really going on here? Which is specifically for people where the wealth area of the life, the money part of their lives is very low. Because how much money you have in your life is only a little bit about your education and your job, and it's like those kind of things. It's like 80, if not 90% of it has to do with your own beliefs about yourself and about success and about money. So if this is something you want to look into, definitely get in touch with me.